Okay, thanks, Tim. Hope everybody's doing well. It's finally here. I know everybody's excited to get back to some football. I've never been so excited to watch Portland State in all my life this past weekend. To see some college football on TV and some high school football, so it was great. Just a lot of fun, and just really enjoy this time of year. Game week is just nothing better, and just excited to kick it off and see us play. And see what the identity of this team is going to be and how it's going to shape up as we go through the course of the season. I think it's going to be fun. This has been a fun team to be around since last spring. You know, and I know for a lot of people, they start thinking about football right now, but we've been working on this season and this team and this journey since last January. So this is just kind of the next part of our journey. It's what we call prime time. But the first two phases that we went through were critical. And this has been a really fun team to be around every single day. They've worked really hard since January, and they've improved all year. I have seen improvement from one phase to the next, and I expect that to continue as we get into the course of the season. I think this will be a team that'll continue to improve just like we have all year long. It's been a long camp, but very productive. I really am proud of how the guys worked. I think we got a lot accomplished, and we're as ready to play as you can possibly be for an opener. There's just you can only bring them so far, and then you gotta go play, and then that's kind of the next step of the process of getting a team, prepared for the course of the season and figuring some things out. Because at the end of the day, you got to play the game. You can't just practice. You got to go play. And so this is our first opportunity to really go do that. And so I think it's just a big step for us as we get going. But I think we're healthy. Jurgen is the one guy, obviously, that's out for the year. Really big loss for us. Y'all are well aware of that. And then Garrett Williams will definitely be out this week, but he's really making great progress. So I think he'll be back sooner than later. So we're excited about where he is in his rehab, but definitely will be out this week. And then probably right now Denzel's probably doubtful for this week. I think he'll definitely be ready to go next week. He had a pec injury, so he's been out in the last week or so. So he's the only other guy that right now I would say is doubtful for this game. But who knows? We'll check back. I'll know a little bit more on Thursday and kind of see where he is from a progress standpoint. But right now that's I'd call him doubtful for sure. But again, turning the page to Kent State and getting back going here with an opponent. First off, I just thoughts and prayers are with Coach Haynes. I don't know what's going on or what he's dealing with, but obviously it's to miss a ball game. It's significant. So thoughts and prayers with him, and I know that the team will be this will be a highly motivated team to come and play at Clemson and to represent their coach and put their best foot forward. When you look at this team, offensively they had some injuries last year, especially at quarterback, but they ended up moving a receiver in there, and he's as tough a kid as you're going to see. Really, really tough football player. Really made a difference for him and played well down the stretch, but he's a guy that they're going to put the ball in his hands, a lot of zone read principles, a lot of empty packages, a lot of jet sweeps and motions. They want to get the ball on the perimeter, so we got to do a great job of setting the edge because they got some speed. The receivers can run. The running back is a very impressive player. He's got first play from line of scrimmage against Alabama. He took it about 50 yards plus, and once he got through the line of scrimmage, he was able to pull away. So that he led them in rushing last year, but also led them in reception. So very dynamic guy in the backfield. They do a good job, and so they go empty a lot, so he catches a lot of passes. And again, led them in receptions last year. They do have a junior college transfer in there at wideout. Don't know a whole lot about him, so obviously we'll see him for the first time. But again, a lot of option principles based on how they run the offense with the zone read built into it. So big challenge for us to just play with great discipline and openers. You've got to know your system, and you got to be able to apply it to what you see on game day, because it's not like you've had 3 or 4 tapes to study of this year's team and see the identity of who they are and really study their personnel, because there's a lot of changes. So I think it's critical for us to really have ownership of what we do and to be able to apply it to what we see. And so we give them, we present a million things in practice, and I think our guys are prepared to go play, and then we got to make adjustments. Openers are always a game of adjustments. At first quarter, early into the second quarter, you start to see, a personality and an identity come forward. Okay, this is what they're going to be on third down. All right, this is their plan, and then you make the adjustments and go from there. But I think defensively, we're well prepared for what we need to do. And then looking at their defense, this is one of the better secondaries we'll play all year. To be quite honest with you, they've got a bunch of guys in the secondary. They got a couple of them going to probably play on Sunday. Really, really confident, and they play to their strengths. A lot of man coverage. I expect them to pressure us a ton, especially with a new quarterback. I expect to see a ton of pressure to kind of check the oil at Clemson and see if we can handle it. So I think that'll be a big part of their plan, and that's the strength. Their strength is in the secondary. They've got a bunch of guys that can play. A lot of man coverage, a lot of press man coverage, all the cover one principles and variations that you can see. They'll get into some four-man type of stuff as well, but very active. They're going to probably move around on us a lot, in and out of some different fronts, and just challenge us to be able to identify and communicate and make sure we're all on the same page. So, this is a team, again, that'll come in here with some new faces. If you look at them, they're big and thick inside. Not quite as big at the end, but inside, you look at number 90, number 98, these are big bodies that can move. So they've got some guys that can play, that jump out at you on tape when you watch them. And then, special teams, we're anticipating a lefty being the punter, so that's always a little different. I'm thankful that we've had Christian Grooms here. He's on our team. He's a left-footed kicker, but also can punt, so we've been able to get plenty of work there if that's what they end up doing. So, but at the end of the day, again, it's an opener. It's for us every week. It's about Clemson. It's about how we prepare and then how we go execute. And the type of effort and discipline that we display on game day. And that's what I'm anxious to see, is see how they respond, because I know there's going to be some unknowns. That's just the way it is in openers. But hopefully we'll respond in a positive way and be ready. But they're all big. Y'all hear me say it all the time. We get 12 opportunities. That's all. We're guaranteed. Everything after that, you earn it. And this is just one of 12, and we're going to put everything we got into trying to get off to a good start and achieve our first goal. I mean, we got 5 goals; they never change. That's our goals, and as many of them as we can hit, the better the year we have. But we've had years around here where we've hit 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5, and I've always said if we hit them all, we're going to win it all, and that's what we did last year. So this is opportunity to get that first goal under our belt and win the opener and create some good momentum in our season.
What are you most anxious to see out of Kelly Bryant in an actual game day situation?
I just want to see him do what he's done on the practice field. Just be the same guy that he's been in practice, because he's if he'll just do 70% of what I've seen on the practice field, he's going to be a really good player. Just haven't had a chance to go see him play. Other than what we do on the practice field every day and scrimmages and so forth. But that's really it. Just translate it to game day.
Is there any part or area of this team that you anticipate or know that's going to be really good that could surprise some people, whether it's fans or media from other places?
Running back, maybe might surprise some people there. I think we're really good at running back. I think we got some guys that can play, and you're going to see them all. You'll see all these backs as we go through the course of the season, and they can all play, and I think play at a high level for us. So I'm really that might surprise some people, but I think most people expect us to be pretty good in the trenches. We got a lot of guys back there, so I don't think that's going to be a surprise. And I think we're going to probably the other surprise would be how we play at quarterback. I think we got good players there, and I think that position is going to be very productive for us, starting with Kelly.
Does it give you a sense of security as a coach that, heaven forbid, if anything happens to Kelly, that you got 3-4 guys back there that are highly recruited that have been in your system that can play?
Absolutely. No question. I mean, we haven't always had that situation where we really feel like we got multiple guys, that we could go win with. I think we got 3 guys that we could win with if it need be.
Coach Xavier, Kelly not listed on the depth chart, anything to that?
That's Tim. I mean, I'd list them all on the depth chart. They're on our depth chart. Tim just lists a couple guys. So, I mean, you have to ask Coach Bray about that. I mean, they're listed on the depth chart, but he only puts 2 people out there for some reason. I don't know. But he's not first or second. That's where we are.
Are you surprised that Justin Foster and Logan Rudolph have been able to show more progress than he has at defense?
I don't think that's accurate. I think it's accurate with Logan. I think Logan is the second team guy right now. It's just where we are. I mean, Logan's a heck of a football player. That's not a knock on Xavier. I mean, it's just that's the bad part of recruiting is if a guy's not some phenom as a true freshman or a redshirt freshman, what's wrong? There's something wrong, and there's nothing wrong. Vic Beasley didn't start a game here till his 4th year before he ever put his hand down and became a starter at Clemson. 4th year, I think he turned out pretty good. It just there's nothing wrong. He's a freshman. He hadn't played a game, and you go, we got good players. How about give Logan some credit? Kid came in and has worked his butt off and earned that spot right now. So. Going to be a long season. I think all those guys are going to have opportunity to play, but he's proven to be the most dependable guy right now as a second team guy. But we'll see where we are as the season goes.
Has Logan successfully gotten past that shoulder?
And he's going to have to. He's trying to play through it and has demonstrated that he can. At some point, he's going to have it cleaned up. But hopefully he doesn't have any setbacks. But right now he's performing well for us.
How's Marcus Edmond doing health-wise, and do you expect him to be a starter at quarterback?
Yeah, he's back. He missed a lot of camp. With that growing, and it probably depends right now on what the personnel is, whether or not he starts the first play or not. I think we make way too much out of that too, because we're going, especially at corner. We've got, y'all have heard me say, we've got several corners that are going to play and play a lot. We got a bunch of corners that are going to play starter snaps. So. Who runs out there first? I don't know. I know who's going to run out there first this week, but that guy may not play as many snaps as the second guy. It's really that's where we are at that position. Kind of like back when we had Vic and Shaq. Did it really matter who runs out there first? Not really. When we had all them D tackles in here, I don't really pay much attention to that. I know they're all going to have opportunity to play, but they all want to run out there first, and so that's based on practice and who has the best week. Maybe it's once you play a game, who played the best that game. All right, you're getting an opportunity to start this week and go from there. But we got a bunch of guys at corner that are going to play, like I said, starter snaps. And Marcus is, like I said, he just missed a lot of time. And you got other guys that are equally as talented that have been there every day. And so that's just kind of the nature of it. But he's going to play a ton.
Maybe sticking with just their 2 corners. How does it kind of help having so much depth at that position?
Well, it's no different at any position. I mean, as many good players as you can have, the better. There's no rule that says you can only have 1 good running back and 1 good quarterback and 2 good receivers and 1 tight end and 2 corners. There's a lot of teams they're lucky to have that, but we're very fortunate. We've recruited well and we've developed well, and we got a lot of guys that can play, and guys deserve to play. So I think depth is critical. I mean, it's very important when you've got depth at a position. You know, you don't hold your breath. The guy rolls his ankle and he's out. Hey, you keep playing, and you keep playing at a high level when you have really quality functional depth. Sometimes you got quality depth from a talent standpoint, but it's not very functional. There's a big drop-off there. You know, experience, nuances of the position, and so forth. But, you know, at corner, we got some guys that can play.
Coach, one of the constants of your success seems to be that your guys are never caught looking ahead. You've got Auburn week 2. Is that one of the biggest keys that, you know, the players, they don't just say it, that you actually have gotten them to truly prepare the same way regardless of the opponent? Oh, yeah, there's no question. That's a core value of our program. And, you know, it can't, if it's just something hanging on a wall, it's just wallpaper, you know. It's got to be something that the players buy into. So there's no question the reason we've been successful is the buy-in of the players. It's these guys, they know exactly what it takes, and they're excited to play. It don't matter who we're playing. I mean, we could be playing Alabama or Kent State. Our guys are excited to go play. It's time to play a game, and you know, we don't get caught up in that. And I think if you do, you become very inconsistent. You know, if you're looking ahead, man, it only takes one good punch, knock you out. You know, you're in trouble. All of a sudden you go out there, you turn it over a few times, you this and that. This game, I've seen it many, many times. So there's no question that the reason we've been so consistent is the buy-in of the guys. And same thing, if you have a big emotional win, you got a game next week. You got a game next week. If you have a big emotional loss, you got a game next week. And so that mindset is critical if you're going to be consistent. You can't get caught up in the emotions and the ebbs and flow of fans and all the storylines that come with a big win or a big loss or whatever. Or maybe you're playing an opponent that other people don't. Well, that's rhetoric. We gotta be locked in and respect every opponent, and we do. And again, when you only get 12 guaranteed days out of 365, man, it's important that, and you want to play well. You want to put your best foot forward every time.
Coach, you kind of just talked about it right there, like kind of resilience, how guys respond based on this philosophy for Kelly Bryant. Are you kind of anxious to see how he responds when he maybe takes a punch? I mean, Deshaun Watson, we saw the last few years, he knew how to respond if a mistake was made. Kelly Bryant, we haven't really seen any game action yet, so I'm just curious how anxious are you to see?
Yeah, man. That's, like I said, that's the next step. We got to go see him play, and you know, we've seen it in practice. I've seen him get punched in the mouth in practice. I've seen him respond against really good defense, really talented players where you don't have a lot of room for error on our practice field. So that's a pretty good gauge for us, but at the end of the day, you still got to go do it on game day. It has to translate to that part of it. And, you know, sometimes, I mean, I remember when Taj became the starter, it took him, you know, we got booed off the field that first game. I don't know if y'all remember that. Who we played? We played, like, was it Troy? In his first game as the starter, is that what it was? Or Wofford? Might have been Wofford. Literally, I mean, we got booed coming in at the half. Wofford was kicking they might have been up. Was it Troy? Well, Troy and Wofford, we didn't really booze against Wofford too. I mean, well, we just didn't, you know, we're all sitting there as coaches going, where the heck's our quarterback? You know, he's on 12 packs of gum and he don't know what to say, and he's like, I don't know where my quarterback is. Somebody kidnapped our quarterback. You know, he's going crazy on the headset, and you know, it just kind of took him a little while to kind of get his sea legs, if you will, and off he went. Next thing you know, it was just, whew, he became Taj Boyd. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm just like y'all. I know what I've seen on the practice field, and I know what I saw out of Taj on that practice field. It just didn't quite show up early, and then he blossomed. And you know, hopefully Kelly will, you know, not miss a beat. I really hope. But I think he's well prepared, and again, he's been put in every situation, and he's responded. And you know, he flat out won the competition. Simple as that. He won the get ready phase. He won the transformation phase. Now he's got to win prime time, and we'll see what happens.
Nelly was telling us about computer programming and the things he sort of does in his free time. Does that analytical, precise side of him translate onto your field?
Yeah, sure, because he's very smart. He's a very smart young man. But, yeah, he's one of those kids that'll, you know, in his free time, he's, you know, taking a TV apart and putting it back together. You know, that's kind of how he's wired. It definitely translates, because I think that, you know, this is a technical game. There's a lot that goes into it at that position, but it's a game of intelligence too. And especially at his position, he's a very smart player, and has a really high aptitude to lead the group from center. You know, because it all starts with him, the communication and getting everybody on the same page, whether it be run schemes, protection, whatever it may be. So I think there's a translation.
Jeff Scott said yesterday this is the deepest offense that it's been since he's been here. Would you agree with that?
I think so. I mean, I think that we've got depth at every position. I think we got, you know, all those receivers can play. I mean, that's as good a group as we've had. I mean, I literally think our 9 scholarship guys all one day will play after Clemson. You know, they're all at different stages of their development, but they all have the skill. They all have what it takes. Now, health, you know, will they have the stick-to-itness to develop and hang in there? But I think we got a really, really deep group there. You know, I like our tight end group. I'm anxious to see Milan kind of getting a bigger role. Love our quarterbacks, love our running backs, and it's definitely the best OL we've had. I think we've got very, very, you know, versatile and competitive guys up front that can move around. You know, a guy like Taylor Hearn, for example, he starts at guard, but he could go play left tackle in a second and not miss a beat. Pollard, he can play tackle, he can play guard. Ankrum, play right tackle, left tackle. I mean, we got a lot of versatility. Cervinka's been a big plus for us in where he is. John Simpson, wow, what a future this kid's got. And you know, also can play guard, can play tackle. Maverick Morris plays 4 positions. He's a senior, won't start Saturday, but will play starter snaps. You know, Crowder, been around here. I mean, just a really veteran group that's deep on experience and got a lot of talent to go with it. So, you know, that's where it starts for us. So we've got some pieces, and that's the good thing for our quarterback. You know, he don't have to be Superman. We just need him to do his part and just be the best version of him, play in and play out, and we'll have a chance to be successful.
Have you specifically recruited guys on the offensive line that can play multiple positions in case guys go down, or is that just something that's kind of happened and you didn't really think about, or is that all kind of playing in advance? This guy can play too.
No, we try to recruit guys that have some versatility. I mean, you know, Crowder's not going to go out there and play tackle, but if we're going to take a guy that's maybe limited as far as what he can do, he better be special. And Crowder's special. Now Crowder could play center too if we needed him. In fact, he might have to play center at the next level, but he's special at his position. But we love those guys that have, you know, that give us flexibility. So we can get the best 5 in there. You know, sometimes you might, you know, your second tackle might be better than that starting guard, and he can play guard too. You want to get your best 5 in there. So we try not to just be so short-sighted in that, and from a recruiting standpoint, we absolutely, you know, looking for guys that bring versatility to the table.